the world, a channel to find a real China. Today we want to discuss the effectiveness of Chinese vaccines against the Delta variant. At present, Delta and many other highly contagious mutated viruses are spreading on a large scale worldwide. China is taking concrete measures to curb the spread of the epidemic in the face of the vicious mutant viruses, and its efforts have gained worldwide recognition. New Zealand is strictly following China's epidemic prevention practices, according to some viewers' comments. Even some Western media begin to praise China for its actions to fight the pandemic. CBS recently released an article about the epidemic situation in China, which describes the current situation in China in detail and points out that the Chinese government is taking a proactive approach to contain the epidemic. The article highlights that China is now in the midst of its most serious outbreak since the epidemic's early days, with 71 new cases confirmed in a single day on August 3, the highest number of new cases in China in a single day since January 2021. Although the number of new cases in China is minimal compared to that in the United States, the Chinese government is not taking the outbreak lightly. Instead, it is taking a proactive approach to mitigate the attack. The epicenter of the outbreak is Nanjing, Jiangsu province, where the entire population has been tested for nucleic acid since July. The airport was closed and people could not leave the city until they had a negative nucleic acid test within 48 hours. In addition, Yangzhou, another town in Jiangsu province, and many other places are also under control, and a large number of people have been tested for nucleic acid. Since the outbreak was caused by the more contagious Delta variant, prevention and control are more complex. However, if only one country can deal with the Delta variant spread, it is definitely China. CBS is not the only U.S. media that praised China for its success in fighting the pandemic. On August 23, China announced there were no local cases in the past 24 hours, and CNN published an article on the front page of its website the same day, saying China could become the world's first country to control a major Delta outbreak. The CNN article said the outbreak has spread to more than half of China's 31 provinces, autonomous regions and municipalities directly under the central government and the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps. Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan are excluded. The outbreak is seen as the most significant challenge to China's zero-tolerance policy against the new coronavirus. In the updated report titled China Reports No New Local COVID-19 Cases for the First Time Since July, as the Delta outbreak wanes, CNN reported from Hong Kong that since July 20, China had reduced the local cases to zero, as a result of Chinese authorities doubling down on stringent zero-COVID approaches. Local governments responded promptly by placing tens of millions of residents under strict lockdown and conducting massive nucleic acid testing and tracking campaigns while restricting domestic travel. According to the CNN article, these stringent measures appear to be working. Daily new cases in China have steadily declined over the past week, falling to single digits from a peak of more than 100 2 weeks ago. The article also states that China's National Health Commission reported 21 new imported cases abroad and 0 local infections yesterday. This is the first time since July 16 that China has reported no new domestic positives. In addition, China's National Health Commission also said there were 16 new asymptomatic infections yesterday, all of which were from abroad. The CNN article further concludes that if this trend continues, China could become the first country in the world to contain an outbreak of Delta. Many people attribute China's success to lockdowns, and it is partially correct. There are 2 reasons why China can defeat the Delta variant. First, China hospitalizes all patients, whether they have symptoms or not. No patients will be allowed to stay at home and in public places. Also, it tracks all close contacts of confirmed cases and quarantines them for 2 weeks. The Delta mutated strain is now the primary prevalent new coronavirus worldwide. It is characterized by rapid transmission, short incubation, high viral load, long detoxification time, fast disease progression, and a high likelihood of evolving into severe diseases. As a result, China expands the definition and scope of close contacts. Any person who stayed in the same building with the confirmed patient in the past 4 days will be quarantined. Also, confirmed patients are required to report their activities and the places they visited. Anyone who fails to do so is violating the CDC regulations, and is subject to criminal charges. In communities where infections were spotted, all residents cannot leave the community without a permit. Interestingly, Chinese people support their government to do so, and they believe after 2 or 3 weeks of quarantine, the disease will stop spreading, and their life will be back to normal. Before the Delta variant attacked China in May and June in Guangzhou, Shenzhen and Dongguan, China had recorded 0 or 1-digit infections every day for several months. However, Chinese people still wore masks in public places. We can say the Chinese government and the Chinese people fought with the pandemic seamlessly. If the Chinese people are like the US protesters, China will have a more difficult time than the United States. One viewer said that China has one ruling party only, not like the US. When the government says go, all people move in the direction as told. There is no debating, no lobbying, no quarreling, and no fighting. Just do it. Nike says it and China does it. The second reason is vaccination. China has administered nearly 2 billion doses in its mainland territory. On August 20, China's CDC weekly published the results of a study on the effectiveness of inactivated vaccines against the Delta variant. It is the world's first such study. It showed that the inactivated vaccines made in China provided good protection for the people infected with the Delta strain, consistent with the Phase 3 clinical trials of inactivated vaccines against the original new coronavirus strain. The study emphasizes that 2 doses of inactivated vaccines are needed to provide protection. Individuals who complete the first dose should receive the second dose as soon as possible. The article notes that the 2 inactivated vaccines produced in China are approved by the World Health Organization, are on the emergency use list, and are widely used worldwide. This study provides evidence that these vaccines can protect against the Delta variant.